Hey everybody, this is Tesla for Drop Top Tees, and today we are going to start a 3-part series on the mods on Itsy. Several of you have asked me what all mods are on her, and I did one like this a long time ago, and I've had the video got deleted for whatever reason, and so I'm going to redo it. And because we have so many mods, instead of making one long video, we're going to break it down into 3 videos, and they are going to cover part 1 is going to cover practical or functional mods. They aren't going to add power to the car, but they are going to add something good, like maybe more cargo space or something like that. The second video will be on aesthetic mods. Again, no power added, no performance gained, but they're just mods that you may or may not think the car looks better. Obviously, I think they look better, or I wouldn't have done them. Some of you may disagree, and that's fine. Okay, the third part is going to be performance mods. These are mods that are designed to add some kind of performance capability to the vehicle. They may be engine mods, tunes, lowering springs, different wheels, different brakes, things like that. And on each of these mods that we do, we are going to talk about how they perform, how hard they were to install, and whether we consider them a good value or not. So let's go inside and I'll talk to you about exactly how we're going to rate the mods, and then we'll get started on the practical mods we've put on Itsy. So as we go through each of the modifications on Itsy and show you them on the car, we will put up an overlay rating 3 different categories from 1 to 5 stars. The categories are performance, ease of install, and value. And here's what each star means for each one of those categories. Performance is pretty straightforward. On performance mods, how well does it work? Does it give you the power gains they claim it does? On aesthetic mods, does it make the car look better, or doesn't it? And it's going to go from 1 star being worthless, 5 stars being fantastic, and then different degrees of worthlessness or fantasticness in between. Value is going to be similar in structure. 1 star is a complete waste of money, 5 stars is a great value. In terms of value, 2 stars means better options exist. 3 stars means yes, it gives you performance, but it costs a lot relative to the performance that you gain. And then 4 is good and 5 is great. Now, the third category, ease of installation, is a little bit different because we aren't rating from bad to great. We're rating how easy it is to install this. So a 1 star doesn't mean the product is bad. It means you most likely aren't going to be able to install it yourself. You're going to have a professional installation. 2 stars, you need to be an advanced do-it-yourselfer to do it. It's going to take more than just basic mechanical skills, knowledge, and tools. 3 stars, a normal or a little bit better than normal do-it-yourselfer could conceivably do it. However, it's probably going to require some special tools, or maybe a little bit more than just normal beginner ability. An example of this one would be like lowering springs, where it's not particularly hard to do, but unless you have the spring compressors, you can't take the springs off and put your new springs on. The average do-it-yourselfer, which is basic skills and tools, is probably going to have to go buy the tools that he needs to perform, or she, to do the job. Where 4 stars, this is just something you can do with just a modicum of mechanical skill and tools. Wrenches, screwdrivers, socket, ratchet, set, pliers, stuff like that. Normal things that most people have in their house somewhere. And then 5, absolutely no mechanical skill needed. You're just slapping on an emblem or a patch or something, and this is more maybe a little craft skill is probably more desirable than mechanical skill. The important thing to remember when we flash this overlay up as we're talking about a particular mod is that ease of install does not, if you see a 1 or 2 star, that doesn't mean it's a bad product. It means it's hard to install, and the normal do-it-yourselfer probably is going to take it to a professional to have it done. An example of this may be like wheels and tires. Even people with a lot of mechanical skill most likely do not have the equipment they need to mount a tire on a wheel at home. So that's probably going to get either a 1 or a 2 star rating, because most people are going to have to take it somewhere and let somebody do it for them, even if they're a good mechanic. You just don't have that kind of stuff at home in your garage. So that lets you know how we're going to rate things as we go through. And that said, let's go look at the practical mods on Itsy. They aren't going to add performance, but they are going to add something. Maybe more cargo space, maybe more safety. Let's go see. So we're going to start at the rear of the car and move forward. And the first mod we're going to show is the one we just did a video on recently. And that's the hood, the trunk struts. You can get these on Amazon with tax for like $22. Very simple install. You just need a Phillips head screwdriver or a flathead screwdriver. If you have anything that adds weight to the top of your trunk lid, it's almost a requirement to keep the trunk from randomly coming back on down on top of your head. However, if you don't have anything on there and you just don't like it, if sometimes the wind pushes it down, or because if you open it part way, it'll come back down. You open it a little bit, it'll push it all the way up by itself. Really good functionality. 545, like I said, you only need a screwdriver to put it on. Pretty much anybody can do it, and it costs under $25. While we're in the trunk, we have a WeatherTech cargo liner. A little bit dirty right now. Whole car is filthy because we're going over 100 every day for like a month and a half here in Texas. It's just dust everywhere. But this is a molded design specifically for this cargo area liner. And if you have something spill in your trunk, a bag break open and gravel or dirt or rice or whatever comes out, it makes it very easy to clean it back out. To clean the liner, you just need to take it out, warm soapy water, clean again. 555, you don't need any skill. You just put it down in there. And we're going to talk about the strobe lights on the center high mount safety light, which is right here. The first year we owned the car, we got rear-ended, and so when I saw these were available as an option, I went for it. You can see what it's doing right now. Whenever you put on the brake, it's going to flash 3 times in rapid succession, 3 times in slightly slower speed, and then it just stays on, which is a requirement by law. It can't just constantly flash. But the idea is when you're braking, or if you had to stop on the road, you can press your brakes and hopefully provide some extra visibility to anybody who may be behind you, and help them see that yes, you are slowing down or stopped. So it's a safety feature that highly recommend if you haven't done. These cars are somewhat invisible on the roads already. A fairly simple procedure. You just pop these out. We have a video for it. Once you take this off, you can reach up in here and splice in the wiring. A basic do-it-yourselfer should be able to do it, especially if you watch my video and follow the instructions that come with the kit. Again, this isn't a very expensive one. You can get them off Amazon. And now we're going to go to the wind restrictor wind deflector. If you want to turn that on, it should show up just a little bit. Okay. The stock wind deflector has the cutout in the middle to allow you to more easily raise and lower your top. The tall wind deflector doesn't have that, so it blocks more wind. It may not seem like it's much of a difference when you look at it. However, there is a significant reduction in the amount of cabin noise and wind you have when you install this, especially if you're top down, windows up. My wife, with her long hair, won't even get convertible hair when we go high speed in this mode right here. We have this rated as, what is this one? 534. It definitely does what it claims to do. Reduces cabin noise and wind. However, it's a little bit more than just a basic install. You have to run the wire down through this mounting hole under your door sill and connect it to the fuse box if you want to hardwire it, which is the way we went. There's an option to, you can buy it to where you can just plug it into your 12-volt DC outlet, and another option to where you can get one with a battery pack with rechargeable batteries, so it doesn't run off the car's electrical system at all. That's the easiest to install. Then you literally just pop this down in. It goes right in the same holes the stock one does, and then you just use your little handheld with the battery. The lighting and the etching design are optional. When you do it all, it is a bit pricey, so we only have it rated as a 4 on value. However, if you buy without the extras on it, it would turn back into a 5. Now, it should be noted, there's all kinds of different companies that sell these at different price points. We went with Wind Restrictor, number one, because they're local to us. The company that does it's only 12 miles away. Great company to work with, and this is the best quality one on the market. So you pay a little more, but you get one that should last a long time. Okay, moving on. Sequential side markers. We got smoke sequential because we have a black car, so we thought the darker one would look better. You can also get this in a clear acrylic. You can get these on Amazon again, and this should be a 545. Does what it says it does. We got it for just increased visibility and because it looks good. You can either, if you're lucky, just press this to the back, I think maybe to the front, and it'll pop out. But normally what you have to do is go in here, pop out the pop rivets. You can reach up and just pull it out and put it in. I know I had never done anything like that before, and I did it about 15 minutes aside. When you factor in, I had to teach myself what I had to do in the first place. We have a video on that. If you follow the video, it should be very simple for anybody to do. Next thing, door sills with the scuff protection. It enhances the look of your vehicle, and it helps prevent permanent scuffs on your door sills. These, unfortunately, the style we bought, I believe I got them from MX5 Things, and again, we have a video on how simple this is to do. However, MX5 Things got them directly from Mazda. It was a Mazda stock part for the ND, and as the last time I checked, they had been discontinued. So you can't get these particular ones, but there's lots of different options on the market. Literally, to take these out and replace them, you just grab with both hands on the door sill, squeeze in, pull up, and it comes off, and then you just push the new ones down. It's 1 minute per side, tops, even if you don't know what you're doing. So that one is definitely a 555. It does what it is intended to do, and to clean them off, you just use warm soapy water, and pretty much any kind of trim cleaner for your car will have that looking nice and black again. The next one is the, let me say the name of this right, and that is the 3D Max Piter Kagoo floor mats. We originally had WeatherTechs. I did a video that compared the WeatherTechs to these 3D Kagoos, and I much prefer these. The WeatherTechs had an issue where at first they were great, and then they started sliding back and forth because the plastic rings they used to pop down on the studs down here would have a little leeway in them, and as you're driving, especially me with a manual, your foot would start moving back and forth like this while you're driving because the floor mats would slide back and forth. Maybe in an automatic that's not, I don't know if that's annoying or not. In a manual, it kind of sucks because you're shifting and stuff, you don't want your foot sliding around the floor. It was only like an inch, but it was still annoying as heck. So we switched to these. The way they're designed, they go down on the floor, they do not move at all. They're extremely functional. They protect your carpet. All you have to do is just lift them out, warm soapy water. They come completely clean. And the added bonus is they cost about $10 or $15 less than the WeatherTechs. So I think they look better, they work better, and just a great value all around. 555. Then we're going to move on to the seatbelt shoulder cover pads. If you've ever driven one of these cars for a long time in a day, you know that the seat belts, especially if you're a larger person, can dig into your neck. The side of the seat belt will rub against your neck and it ends up just being annoying. These eliminate that. So they look good, they just Velcro on, easy installation, and they had these, the ones we bought them on Amazon, are a little bit padded, so they really save your neck on long trips. 555. Now this next one is probably the lowest rated thing we have, which you may not believe, but trust me when I say this little cover for your infotainment center that you think is going to protect it from the glare of the sun. It looks nice. It literally just snaps down into place. It's on Amazon, and I think you have to look for a sunshade screen for a MX-3. I believe I bought it for an MX-3 and it fits ours. But it doesn't work. It looks good. It looks kind of cool. If you're out driving around for 5 hours, it probably protects your screen. You're probably at just the perfect angle for it to actually provide some glare protection, maybe tops 5 minutes of those 5 hours. It rarely helps you. And so we rate it 1 on performance. It doesn't do what it says it's going to do. Easy installation, you just snap it on. And value, it's like, yeah, it doesn't cost a lot of money, but at the same time it doesn't do what it says it's going to do. So there's a little value in that. Aesthetically it's somewhat pleasing, but as far as protecting from glare, doesn't do it. If that's why you're buying it, because you think it's going to protect your infotainment center screen from the glare of the sun, don't waste your money. Chamberlain rear view mirror is next. It has a garage door holder on it that I probably can't do it from here. You just press down and it'll come out in case you don't want to leave your garage door holder in the car overnight and you park it on the street. And I like the fact that the top of the mirror is wider than the bottom, because on the stock mirror the bottom of the mirror is wider than the top. And if you look back here, when you look in the mirror, you look right through this area. Where the way your seats and the roll bars are shaped, the bottom of this area is not as wide as the top is. So if you're OCD or anything and you look in the mirror, what you're seeing through the mirror matches the shape that you're looking for, and I just like it. I can't explain why, I just like it like that. So for me, this is a 545. To change this, there's one screw up here you have to loosen, and then the stock mirror pulls off. You put this in, tighten up the screw, and you're done. Very simple. Next thing, we have a custom stereo in the car, and we added speakers in the cubby holes. We upgraded our front speakers, added speakers here, and we have a 400 watt amp up underneath the dash in the passenger footwell. You're not going to be able to see it. Okay, we have this rated 425. And the 4 isn't because it's a bad idea. It's still a great idea, good idea. I went into it thinking the seats are going to muffle the sound from these a little bit, but it still gives you more of a surround sound feel because you can hear the sound coming from behind the seats. The one thing I would have done differently if I did it again, and I'll probably add it in the future, is I should have put in a subwoofer somewhere. And what I think I'm going to do is up underneath the passenger footwell, underneath the carpet, there's a piece of styrofoam that, if you have the Bose system, that's where they put their subwoofer, and you can just take that out, cut it to the shape of a subwoofer, put your subwoofer up under there, and so you don't use, you lose no space in the car. All you do is cut out a little bit of sound dampening foam and put the subwoofer in there. So I think that's going to be my solution. I don't know when I'm going to do it. And then I have this as a 2. Some do-it-yourselfers have the ability to work on stereos and do custom stereos. A lot of us don't, so I have this rated as an advanced do-it-yourselfer, because somebody with no skill in stereo stuff is going to take this to a shop to have it done for you. Lusso seat gap organizers. These are a great deal, and I will give a shout out to Mitch Gordon for this, because I learned about these because he had them in his Lusso. Coincidentally, these are called Lusso seat gap organizers because that is the name of the company that sells these on Amazon. These are really kind of a hard fake leather. You can get them in a variety of colors. You can get them in tan to match your interior if you have a tan interior. And they, as you can see, we put our sun screen in here on the passenger side. Like if I'm taking a paper somewhere that I have to drop off, I just put it there where it's easy access for me when I get to where I'm going. There's just all kinds of thin things. I could see that if you just want your cell phone and easy access, you just drop it in there. There's all kinds of different things you can put in here. They take up very little space. They don't annoy your passenger or you if you have something in there. A great way to add just a little bit more space to your cabin without taking away space that you need to for your own personal body. So again, this is 555, very easy to do. There's constant discussion on what kind of phone holder to have. We went and got one at Walmart for like $25–30. It's called an iOtti. It mounts on the window, dash, on the windshield. Phone is right here. It doesn't block my infotainment center. However, I use Waze as my nav, and I don't have my phone. I also we do SCCA road rallies, and so I have an app with an odometer on my phone that I put right here. Very easy access for me. I can basically control everything I need to without taking my eyes off the road because it's right here. I don't have to look down like if you put it down on your command console area. And it doesn't interfere with anything, doesn't interfere with my forward vision at all. It's totally adjustable. You can lift it up, lower it, extend it out farther, or push it farther back. It has the advantage of not using a vent to mount the phone on, so I still have my vents fully functional. And because of the price, $555, great value. We also have a radar detector, which some of you might not consider a mod. I do. In this case, we have a Valentine Gen 1 V2. It's one of the top 2 detectors on the market, so it's a little bit pricey. However, it has outstanding performance and capability. I know some of you live in areas where they're probably illegal. In the United States, in all but I think Virginia and Washington DC, they're legal here. And it's not just something you use to evade tickets, although it definitely helps alert you to the presence of radar down the road. It's also a safety enhancement because of the fact that if you're driving down a high-speed highway and a police have somebody pulled over, everybody slows down. Even if they're going the speed limit, they still slow down. If you're on the lane next to the cop, you have to slow down, but that creates a ripple effect where everybody, just the natural reaction when you see a cop is to slow down. So if your radar detector starts going off and you can't see what's down the road, because this will give you a warning 1 or 2 miles ahead of time, you know that traffic is going to be slowing down. So even if you're just going the speed limit, you're not trying to avoid tickets, it helps alert you that there's a slowdown coming in traffic, which is great to know information. Like I said, it's pricey. I tend to drive with the flow of the traffic, and a lot of times the flow of the traffic is above the speed limit. So in the 2 years that we've owned it, this has probably paid for itself twice over. And as I said, even if you go the speed limit, it's nice to know there's something on the road up ahead that's going to cause the traffic to slow down. It lets you be alert and be aware. So whether you speed or not, still a worthwhile investment. Okay, on the front of the car we have the Goodwin Racing tow hook that includes a GoPro mount. Unlike a lot of lightweight tow hooks on vehicles that are for looks only and can't really be used to tow the car because they come apart and break down, this is built strong enough to actually tow your vehicle. The added benefit of the GoPro mount, if you have a GoPro, it provides another great camera view that you can use when recording events. This is a 545. It does exactly what it's supposed to do, and it's strong enough to tow your car, which is an added bonus. It simply screws into the tow hook mount. You got one bolt you got to tighten, 2 Allen wrenches you got to tighten down. Pretty much anybody can do that. And it's a little bit more expensive than other tow hooks. However, it works exactly the way it's supposed to be, so it's a great value. We have LED headlights. I went with Lucas H1s. The difference between the non-LEDs and LEDs is amazing. We have a video on it that compares a Classica with regular LEDs from Joey Spence's car, and Saxy, who has LED low beams, non-LED high beams, and our car, which now Itsy, which now has LED both. The difference is really amazing. It's a great safety addition to your vehicle. These are 535. To replace them, you have to go in through the wheel well and take out the little pull pins, get up in here and change out the bulbs. Some people are going to be uncomfortable doing that, and so we have it rated as a 3 instead of a 4. One caution on these: you can find real cheap LEDs on Amazon that use fans to cool them. From what I've seen, there are literally hundreds of reports from users across all different kinds of vehicles that after 2 or 3 years, those fans stop cooling correctly and they have problems with their lights. So I would advise, if you want to do an upgrade to LEDs, pay the extra money to get a good bulb that doesn't rely on fans for cooling, and these will last the lifetime of your vehicle. And then the last thing is we have Cobalt dual hood lift kit. I raise my trunk to here, my lid, and it goes up. Look at the difference. I'm going to stand behind it, beside it. It is above my head. Now compare this to stock. My head is way above the trunk or the hood. So if you're working on your car, if you change your own oil, if you do spark plugs or anything else, even if you're just changing washer fluid, switching to this gives you a lot more headroom. You're not going to bang your head. It's going to make it easier to work in your engine. If you go to car shows, that configuration just has way more, it's more visually appealing than this. It is it's a 545. You can see there's 2 screws right here, or 2 bolts right here. You unbolt. You unbolt 2 bolts here. You put in your strut, bolt it back down. It's 15 minutes per side. As long as you have a wrench, you can do this mod. And so that is all the practical mods we have done on Itsy. They don't make it go faster, but they add either safety or other functionality, and some of them, a lot of them, look good in the process of doing it. The next video we're going to talk about aesthetic mods. Again, no power gains, no real functionality gains. They just look nice. And then to complete the trilogy, we will do a video on all the performance mods on Itsy. Mods that are designed either to make your faster, handle turns better, something performance related. So if you like the video, thumbs up. Hit subscribe so you can see the next 2 groups of mods, and we'll see you again in a few days.